this time. In case you missed the memo and living under a rock, we are racing today. Impending rain tomorrow, we're getting it all in today. And I want to get you caught up before we hand it over to opening ceremonies for the start of race day. So let's talk about some monster runs last night that got in. Lyle Barnett made a killer run, had been struggling all weekend, got in the show, was bumped out to the 4th alternate, but because of issues that were had and all of the accidents, he got in the lucky number 32 spot. Melanie Salemi, watch this. This girl takes a ride. This is a bad girl right here. Gets in the show as well. And at the chip draw, she ends up with Billy Banica. Look at her. She's ready to go. I love it. Next one we have here. Everybody knew this was coming. He said he was just going to be dramatic. Mark Mickey gets in the show, but take a look in the left lane. Massive fireball. Mark had a front row seat to that, but he got that thing together, and he is in the show. I'm going to tell you here in a little bit who he has, because he has a treat this morning. We had the #1 qualifier, Jason Harris. He is making history. He's got that throwback party time ride this weekend, and he ended up your #1 qualifier, which means he is the only one still eligible to get that Jerry Bickles race car. Look at this. Congratulations, Jason Harris, #1 qualifier. You get the only other guy that's been #1 qualifier in the last calendar year. This is the monster matchup. It is going to be absolutely insane. Take a look at these matchups. We had the chip draw last night. I'm not going to read them all. Just going to read a couple here. Ken Q gets Bob Glenn. We've got some Street Outlaw on Street Outlaw action ×2. Stevie Fast Jackson has Cinderella story with Peterson himself. Sydney Frigo and Rojas down there at the bottom. We're going to rip through these because we have 32 cars that made this field after 84 cars contested here at the Snowbird Outlaw Nationals. Kai Kelly, Scott Taylor, Jason Harris, Mark Mickey, as I mentioned. Ryan Hayward, one to watch with Kevin, Steve King, Lyle Barnett, battle of the podcast. This is out of control. We're going to flip the screen here for the next set of matchups. As you can hear in the background, the opening ceremonies have started. You're not going to miss those. I'm going to push you over to those here in just a second. But Justin Bond right there at the top, Ken Cartuccio, we already saw these. That's all right. Listen, there are a million monster matchups this session. 32 cars, 16 pairs. It's going to take about an hour, hour and a half, so sit tight. Get your brunch, get your mimosas, whatever you got to do, but you do not want to miss this. Spend your Saturday with us here at the Drag Illustrated Winter Series. It's time for opening ceremonies.
Well, thank you very much, Courtney Enders. As you get a look here over Bradenton Motorsports Park, Brian Loans and Mike Carpenter up here in the booth. That haze over the top of the racetrack will likely stay around all day. It's going to help us manage some of the track temperature, but thankfully the fog has left town.
Yeah, it's hanging around here this morning, but I think as the temperatures warm up, we get some sun breaking through, it'll burn that off. But yeah, looking at the weather, there's not a large spread in temperature. It's got like a 10-degree spread from the low to the high, so it's going to be consistent throughout the day. A great day of racing. These tuners, these crew chiefs would prefer this cloud cover to the bright Florida sun.
Let's get things kicked off with our pre-race ceremonies. We send it over to Al Tucci and Steve Logan and Wes Buck for that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Steve. A little over the top, but I'll take it. Good morning, Bradenton. Thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome to the Drag Illustrated Winter Series presented by J&A Service. Race 1, the Snowbird Outlaw Nationals presented by Motion Raceworks. I got to tell you guys, look around. This is what drag racing is supposed to feel like. A packed house, the baddest race cars on planet Earth, and a community that shows up and shows out every single time. From the bottom of my heart, on behalf of everyone at Drag Illustrated in Bradenton Motorsports Park, I want to thank you guys for being here. Your support is the fuel that makes all of this possible. I also want to take a moment to thank all of our incredible partners. J&A Service, our title sponsor for the entire Winter Series. Jim and Annie Whiteley, thank you for believing in the vision and helping us build something worthy of the best racers in the world. Motion Raceworks, thank you for putting your stamp on this event and bringing your passion, your energy, and your people into every brand represented across this entire facility. Elite Motorsports, Stroud Safety, Fuel Tech, Strange Engineering, Proline Racing Engines, Poseidon Oilfield, Jerry Bickle Race Cars, Scott Tidwell Racing, Tommy Humans Racing, Larry Jeffers Race Cars, Resolution Racing Service, Menholt Chevrolet, Killing Time Racing, Brian Cower, M&M Transmission, VP Racing Fuels, Precision Shaft Technologies, FT Injectors, Modern Racing, Redline Oil, Hearts Turbo and Hearts Charger, WS Construction, P2 Contractors. Your support means absolutely everything to us. Racers, all of you out there, those that qualified for the quickest Pro Mod field in history, and those that were just a little bit short, thank you. You have delivered yet again. This is the quickest Pro Mod field in the history of Pro Mod drag racing. This is the tightest Pro Mod field in the history of drag racing. 80+ door slammers, legends, champions, rebels, record setters, all here in one place for one reason, to put on the best show in drag racing, and let's be honest, find out who's who. Fans, I need you guys' support today. I need you to get loud. They put on a better show the more you give them. So let's get on our feet throughout the day. Let's make some noise. Let's get excited and pour into these guys the way they pour into you. I promise you guys, you're part of this moment. Without all of you, it would not be the same. You're part of this path to elevate our sport, and I promise you guys all, we're just getting started. Before we fire off the first pair here, we're going to turn things over to our Racers for Christ representative, Tom Ratliff, for our prayer before we pass it over to Mallory Elizabeth to perform our national anthem. Tom, here you go, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Great to be back here in Bradenton. This is where I started 33 years ago. What a history this place has, and the leadership has really improved it. Every year I come, I'm amazed at the improvements. Let's bow and let's give thanks. Father, in the name of Jesus, we just want you to know that we are grateful. We live in a great country where we can pursue our dreams. We have the prosperity to do some pretty wild things. Not many places do people get to pursue these things, and we are thankful. Lord, we've been here for a week, many, testing and getting ready for this day. We've had some incidences, but we're grateful that you've looked after those who've crashed and you've kept them from harm's way. We just pray for Rudolph right now, that as he recovers from his injuries that he received the other night. Father, we just thank you for this staff that'll be here all day working to give us a fair, safe, and competitive event. They've worked hard on this track to give us all the opportunity to run the best we've ever run. And I just pray your blessing on them, that you would give them strength and stamina. Thank you for our safety guys. I pray that they're pretty bored today, that they just get to watch. For our announcers, everyone involved in pulling this off, we are grateful. We thank you for our fans that show up and support a truly great sport. Thank you for this nation, and we just trust her into your hands and ask for your mercy on her. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job. I need a favor, everybody. Stay on your feet. Stay on your feet.
Thank you to Gavin, man. Thank you to Walt. Thank you to everybody in the tower here.
Let's
Thanks
do it
for the
these
Racers
guys.
for
They
Christ
deserve
and
it.
giving
Every
us
single
that
one of you.
prayer.
Thank you.
And here we are. The first pair of Pro Mod cars have rolled in. This category of 32 will be cut to 16 over the first round of eliminations. Burnouts being completed. And we can see a major league matchup to start. They all are. It is Justin Bond and young Kyle Dvorak.
Yeah, one of these surprises that we have in the field. I mean, when you've got this many cars, we're sending huge names home.
Huge.
And we've got some surprises in the field. Kyle Dvorak would be one of those in the Kohler Racing machine. But has been around this for a while, been in and out of the sport, you know, behind the wheel, but one of the young rising stars in Pro Mod.
And what's interesting to clarify when we get going here, this field of 32 cars is separated by roughly a half a tenth of a second from 1 to 32. Number one qualifier at 356, the bump spot being at 361.5. So we were in that window that we always love to see. And basically the whole shot window from top to bottom. We had a chip draw last night. These are not being set on a qualified ladder. This was a random pairing, as they all are.
Yeah, talking about surprises again, that chip draw each round is going to continue to deliver those surprises throughout eliminations.
We talk about the surprise of Kyle Dvorak making the field, doing the great job that he did. Also, Justin Bond is a bit of a surprise. He was a late addition to drive this car.
Yeah, he jumped into this car that is normally wheeled by Derek Menholt. Derek is behind the wheel of his new C7 Corvette, so it opened up the opportunity for this ride. Justin Bond is taking advantage of it.
Who will make their way to the round of 16? Who will advance one step closer to potentially winning this race and becoming the only person that could possibly walk away with $1 million bonus? If they can win all three of them, Elite Motorsports has the $1 million bonus up, but you have to win all three races to do it, and that includes being perfect effectively in all three rounds.
Yeah, look at the nerves from the Scott Tidwell crew behind the car as they pull into the beams.
Dvorak rolls in. Bond's going to make him think about it for a second. They leave the starting line. Both cars making full pulls, and it's Bond to the finish line. 3:59.9 at 209 miles an hour. Bond advances on to round two and accepts a very respectable 3:63 for Kyle.
Yeah, 3:59.9 for Justin Bond. Neither one of those guys are going to write home about those reaction times, but Bond had enough horsepower to overcome that 086 light to Dvorak's 062.
On my opinion, this first round, guys tighten up a little bit, and I think we saw two guys tighten up just a little bit on the starting line, slowing themselves down a little bit at the tree, but in the end, it was Bond and that horsepower that got it done.
There's probably no more nervous situation in Pro Mod drag racing than the first round of one of these events. The first pair of the first round. Just saw a little balance of the burnout with
Curtuccio,
which is very uncharacteristic. I mean, this guy has to be the favorite coming into this event.
And he's got Roots blower Bob Glenn over there on the other side. Glenn is the only guy in the field with a Roots supercharger combination in that beautiful Ford Mustang. Curtuccio, that's more like it. That's more like it.
They got it. No more experienced or veteran team over there behind that orange Scott Tidwell racing machine. So they'll be all right. Bob Glenn completed his burnout, no problem backing up. And then here comes Ken Q.
And what's so interesting about these two guys, Ken obviously from Connecticut, Glenn is from down here. Bob Glenn's been racing at this racetrack for decades, but Ken also has raced the majority of his career at this place, despite the fact he lives 1,000 miles away.
We joked last year, it was like, he basically owns this place.
He basically does.
And, you know, when we strung these three races together into a winter series, I don't think anyone was happier about it than Ken.
Yes.
And we knew that going into it, and it played out that way last year.
Paid off with a Winter Series championship, the inaugural one that anybody would ever win, and the bonus that comes with it. As Ken Curtuccio now rolls this screw-blown combination forward here, the Scott Tidwell, the Tidwell and his Loney racing team. Bob Glenn is the underdog here. He is one of the guys that's on the wrong end of a spread, about 300s behind in qualifying from what Curtuccio ran.
Yeah, this situation, I believe he's going to take everything Bob Glenn's got.
Yeah.
He's not backing this down for eliminations. He's still got to just throw the kitchen sink at this thing to hang with this screw-blown car in the left lane. I think those guys, we talked about it last night, 358 bracket car. I expect to see a near identical elapsed time to what they ran all weekend, 358 with a 3. So we'll see if Bob Glenn can get Ken on the tree and then throw down his best run of the weekend.
That huge long Roots blower looking across at the more stubby screw blower for Ken Curtuccio now. Curtuccio second to stage. Green lights. Curtuccio's out first and motors away. 3:59.5 at 208 miles an hour. Glenn's car did not have the muster at a 383. It was kind of slow from the jump. They were within a 14th hour of reaction time, but it was Curtuccio all the way.
Yeah, a little slower. I honestly expected one number quicker than that, but that's all it's going to take right here. If you can 040, 030 on the tree, and then a high 50. That's what you want out of the first round, in which, these guys, as experienced, as that team is and all the success they've had, they've still got the nerves pulling up here for this first round.
And really, we've seen 2 cars come out of the Tidwell camp and make effectively identical runs.
Yeah. And they're, continuing to get that data running back-to-back like that. So I'm sure they're happy to get up here early in this session before heat builds in the track and get their passes, get back, and start figuring out what they're doing for round 2.
Mike, we live in the golden age of conspiracy theories. Everything is a conspiracy. Nothing is real. Your eyes are lying to you. Your ears are lying to you. Even a chip draw, apparently, is going to lie to everybody. We have a multitude of Street Outlaws, former Street Outlaws racers in this event. They qualified. They all drew each other. We all stood there and watched it. This was not a setup. These 2 guys are the first to take each other on, Robin Roberts and Murder Nova Sean Ellington.
Yeah, it never is a conspiracy, but when these awesome matchups happen via the chip draw, my first thought, okay, here goes the internet, wild with the,
right.
They set this up, they made this happen, why are all the Street Outlaws guys racing each other first round? It makes for a great show here early. However, seeing these guys basically take each other out early in the session or in the eliminations prevents them from moving forward throughout the day. So this is one of those situations with the chip draw where you love to see this kind of matchup, but you kind of hate to see one of these guys go home.
Yeah, the earth is flat. We never landed on the moon, and the Street Outlaws guys had weighted chips in the bottom of the bag, apparently, is how this is going to go down.
Yep.
Robin Roberts made the field on a hero shot. He was down to his last run in the final qualifying session. The car had been hot garbage up to that point.
Probably the run of the session.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was because it happened so early as well.
Yeah, he and Mark Mickey really had the hero runs of that qualifying session last night and made the runs they needed to make to go from outhouse to penthouse.
Ellington's car has been a monstrous machine for mile an hour. 3:58 the qualifying effort for Roberts, 3:59 for Ellington. Both guys are sharp as attack at the starting line. You can see Ellington move first, and it's a 400s advantage for Murder Nova Sean. A whole shot win in round 1. 61 beats a 60 at 217 miles an hour.
Yeah, the Storybook weekend came and went for Robin Roberts. He went from the highest of highs last night, making the show, to losing on a whole shot to Murder Nova, which you don't see a ton with a turbo combination. Cutting a light like that with that turbo is impressive.
Now watch the right side of this thing. Whoa, man, carried the front end most of the run, set it down. A guy stands in front of our camera, so we'll go to this shot.
Yep. Ah, man, that thing looked good. Just set it down, and then this car puts out a lot of smoke when he's off the throttle and pulls the chutes, but I do believe that's and it's still lingering out there.
Yeah,
it's get it that time.
You're 100% right, and it fooled me earlier in the weekend, but man, it's sustained all the way, I think, to the turnout down there as we're checking the racetrack. Hopefully nothing on the surface, hopefully nothing major league wounded there. And it went through at 217, which is in the window. I mean, it was running 219, 220, so it's kind of in that same window. Man, first whole shot win in the first round.
Yeah, of all the turbo cars here, I'd say he's the most consistent.
Yes.
And probably so far from what we've seen, even though we've got Mark Mickey, Jimmy Taylor, the long ball hitters, I think on race day, he's got to be the most consistent with the turbo combination.
As we're getting a look at the racetrack, I think we should each take a little bit of a piece of ownership here and look at not only the runs that have happened, but who's left and who you kind of pinning something on. Who you pinning the responsibility of this race on today?
Oh, man, this is tough. Let's go dark horse. My dark horse is Callie Mills. I just think what she's done this season, the momentum she has, she's going to be able to carry that through today. But there's some really some hot young gun names on there that I think you can pick one and ride with.
The feel-good story is Sam Peterson. Tucci and I were talking about it this morning. Wouldn't it be incredible if this guy, in his first weekend as a Pro Mod racer, can actually get the job done in the Joel Wensley car? It's a Fantasyland type of story. I can't stake my claim on that one, but I would love to see it happen. If Barnett wins the first round, I'm going Lyle. I'm putting some stock in Lyle here.
You're going Lyle.
I am going Lyle. If Lyle beats King, I think that is the path to glory is being paved. That's it.
We pick a man of destiny or driver of destiny each year. So that's your pick today. I don't know. You know, I was going dark horse. I might have to pick
you can revise
an alternate for the destiny pick. So let me take a look at the list. But one of those young guns that, not really surprisingly, but you know, based on what he was running at the end of the year with in the PDRA, John Dock.
Yes.
Someone that I don't think, and I even heard some comments when he walked up to draw his chips last night. Like, man, he's running good this week. Yeah, like really surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, he had the room whispering, which is, you always want to be the guy that makes people whisper when you walk by, and that is exactly what John Dock has done. He's going to have to do it again here against Derek Menhold. It is a new car, but my goodness, it has been sorted out quickly. They ran 361 to qualify for this field.
Yeah, really happy with that. The team is. They were kind of on pins and needles throughout all of qualifying, and then to get that shot in last night, feel a little more relaxed going into today, getting them off that bump spot. I think we're seeing everybody, we're seeing the higher qualified cars choose the left lane up to this point. Also interesting, check out where Derek Menhold position on the track.
John Dock, lead within 2000s, and it's Dock. 58 beats Menhold's 361.6. He qualified at 361.4. It's a repeatable Corvette, but John Dock is mowing him down.
Yeah, 912, 240 to the 330. The most impressive early numbers we've seen and low ET of elimination so far.
And this becomes, that was a great side-by-side. And Doc is just, he's been chopping wood all week. You know, the 50 and 52 lights, to me, again, it goes back to this idea of being tight. But as long as you're close to the guy next to you, it doesn't matter if you're both 100.
Right. I mean, these guys, the chip draw and the spread that we have of this field, everyone says this thing comes down to the starting line. And I think you'll continue to see that as we go rounds today.
The storyline of there's a 50 of them for this race, but here's a fact that many people will miss when you look at these two cars. We look past the drivers for a minute. The car on the right that young Samuel Peterson is driving is the Shadow 2.0. Remember, when Stevie sold that car, it was kind of a secret where it went. Well, Joel Winsley was the guy that bought it. Sam Peterson is racing his hero, Stevie Fast Jackson, in Stevie Fast Jackson's old chassis.
That's unbelievable. You can't write that.
No.
Again, we didn't script that. We also didn't script Samuel Peterson coming down here and basically saying, you know, he told Wes yesterday, man, I can't believe this. I'm like living my dream, and this is all happening because I just kind of had this feeling like I should bring my fire suit with me this weekend. And so he said, someone's going to have some kind of opening. I could jump in a car. The opportunity arose here to jump in this car behind Joel Winsley's normal ride, and he is taking every advantage of the opportunity presented to him.
Winsley took one last look at the car, closed the door. Working on a heater down there in the starting line is Stevie Fast Jackson, who qualified at 360 with a 1. And that is a run that came very early in qualifying, because when we look back at the last 3 runs Stevie made, they weren't exactly all-star efforts.
Yeah, which can give you some concern.
Yeah.
You know, you want that consistency as you build for race day, but Stevie's always a threat, and he wants this monkey off his back.
Yes,
he wants one of these wins at the DI Winter Series, and it starts here in the first round.
The young man to his left, one can only imagine what's going through his brain right now. Hopefully, for him, it is nothing. It is pure concentration.
Well, he's playing with house money at this point. All the pressure's on Stevie. Let's see how he holds up.
The Liberty's Gears Camaro to take on the Motion Raceworks Shadow 3.0. He had to pedal it. Peterson had to pedal it. It is a 361 for Stevie Fast Jackson at 208 miles an hour. Peterson a 371, pedaling the car after some mild tire shake. The kid was 30. He was right there with him.
Yep.
Stevie didn't take him light at 24.
No, he didn't. Just pretty close off the tree, 60 feet. Then, unfortunately, the Cinderella story comes to an end right about here when he has to pedal it as Stevie continues to pull away.
And credit where it's due here, not to just overly heap love on this kid. It's a brilliant job of pedaling a race car as well.
It really was.
But Stevie Fast had none of those troubles, was 24 green, and he is looking like the guy that we all know him to be. And that 61 puts him right smack dab in the middle of the performance window we've seen. A lot of 59s, 259s, 261s, and a 58 so far. John Dock is actually the quickest car of the round to this point.
Yep, pretty impressive. Here's a matchup of 2 more up-and-comers that have burst onto the scene. Callie Mills taking a look at the American Pride golf cart Camaro doing her burnout, and Brylan Holder. Now, what's interesting, we talked about the momentum that Callie's had.
Yes.
That she built throughout the middle part of the season, but is there anyone that's had more recent success, or maybe
he's the guy, Brylan Holder. Yeah, this is momentum. This is strength on strength. Holder, of course, the Streetcar Super Nationals winner in Pro Mod, his first career Pro Modified victory. And, you know, to go to the second level of this story, you know, Callie was coached by her dad, the great Dwayne Mills. Roger Holder, Brylan's dad, coached him into this seat. So I think it's really neat that you have not just the family connection, but these are the descendants of two really good racers.
Which is kind of the way it usually goes, right? I mean, this is a generational, multi-generational sport passed down from one to the other. And we're seeing this next generation really show out here. I mean, just looking at the qualifying list and what we've seen in eliminations, John Dock still quickest of the round so far, which I think we'll see changes as we go on. But
what I loved last night about the face-offs when we had the chip draw, we were telling guys, hey, let's get face-to-face. Let's get like some boxing setups here. And Callie was the first one to actually put her fist up. Everybody else was up there being chummy, and she actually stepped up to Brylan and put her fist up. I thought that was great.
You get some that really like to play into that and some that don't, you know?
Oh, yeah. Some of these guys that try to run the other direction, but she was all about it. Holder from California, Mills from Oklahoma. The American Pride Golf Carts machine on one side. The Holder HVAC machine on the other. The two talented young drivers, ridiculous reaction times. It is going to be Callie Mills, 006 green, 61.6 beats a 62. My goodness.
Man, that was tight. She needed every bit of that too.
Wow.
That was a great race.
7th out at the finish line, 9th out, 16 thousandths margin between these two kids.
So a dark horse lives by the slimmest margin. She was in the right lane too. You know, that's Brylan had the lane choice. Everyone's choosing the left. So 2 wins in a row. Stevie just took the win in the right lane. Callie as well. These lanes are very evenly matched at this point.
That is big league stuff. You're going to show up here and be 6th, and Holder's going to show up and be 15. That is big league stuff for these two racers. Melanie Salemi, another last qualifying round entrant into the field. She had been bumped out. They came up, and we talked about it in the moment, how they're just so calm and so regimented. They just have a program that they don't deviate from.
Yeah, exactly what you saw last night, you're going to see here today. There is no deviation in their program and in their routine. And we were a little premature on saying that she was the last one that was going to be able to bump Lyle Barnett out as we were following that story. But then we got to kind of replay that again with Brylan.
Yes.
And we'll see if they can, shake off the early part of the week or the weekend where they struggled and then continue the momentum of that last qualifying session. Billy Bannock has just been consistent, kind of under the radar, consistent. Picked up a couple of wins in the middle of the season. Great year in NHRA Pro Mod.
And again, the better car, the car with lane choice, meaning when we do a chip draw, who gets lane choice? Well, the car that enters first round with the better elapsed time is going to choose the lane. That's how it works in the pairings. He has also chosen the left, but Callie just showed us there's nothing wrong with the right.
No, not at all.
The Alley Installations, Pontiac Firebird, out of the greater Buffalo, New York area. Bannock out of Mississippi, S&B Trucking, his main business among a handful that he has. Johnny Drama walks to the back of the car after having his pants leg blown up by the exhaust. A near wardrobe malfunction for Johnny Drama. Man, oh, big wheels up move there for Salemi. She had to lift as it was shaking the tires and try to swap ends. 62.2 at 2:08 puts Bannock into round 2.
Yeah, we have to watch the replay. I mean, that was a pretty violent shake and wheel stand. Tried to pedal it for Melanie, but maybe just still in kind of an aggressive mode from last night and didn't back it down quite enough. Hard to say.
First car we've seen shake that bad.
And then she's back in it right there for a blip of the throttle that she's thought better of it.
And so Bannock cruises at 362.2, 2:08 to a first round victory. And as a reminder of something Mike said just a few minutes ago, it's a chip drop for round 2. I mean, we're not, this is the same kind of random situation here. So there's no guarantee about who you'll see in this next round. That 362 right now is the slowest winning elapsed time of the round.
Yeah. You take it any way you can get it. And we've got the international matchup that we set last night by the chip draw. Sydney Frigo and Isaiah Rojas.
Puerto Rico taking on Brazil here. See the new scheme. The Brazilian flag colors here. in the American flag theme, kind of crossing both for Sidney Frigo as he spends so much time crossing the equator back and forth from his home country to here. Isaias Rojas, the MECTEC College Corvette. 5 thousandths between them over 4 qualifying sessions.
Unbelievable. Great look out of the jib.
All important wheelie bar setting height here. That wheelie bar is an integral part of the chassis tuning of these cars. How much squat you going to allow the car have? How is it going to drive out?
Yeah, Jacob Truelove setting the wheelie bars. Jeff Pierce doesn't like where Sidney's lined up. Looks like they're going to pull him back a little bit, move him over. Everything matters in this moment.
Sidney Frigo, the big man from Sao Paulo, Brazil. A career that has spanned so many drag racing classes, from Pro Modified to Top Fuel. See the intensity in his eyes. Frigo's up by the wall, and Frigo goes down for a win light. 362 beats a 363, and he put 200s on him in the starting line.
Yeah, it looked, you know, the numbers look closer than it actually was on the track due to that reaction time paired with the quicker laps time. Great run. They've really got that car figured out. You know, they debuted this car just a couple of months ago, have made some really impressive runs in testing, and drifted off to the right.
Yeah. Still plenty of racetrack out there.
I think when they pulled him back and moved him over, I think they inched him over to the left. So that, I mean, that alone could have been the difference right there.
What I loved about the subtlety of that moment was a lot of times when that happens, especially that late in the staging process, people are running around. Like Pierce walked up like he was coming to pick up a ham sandwich. Like he was, you know, he just walks up like, hey, let's move it back a little bit. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got one speed.
Yeah.
Calm and cool always.
Man, here we go.
This is the matchup of the day,
yeah.
The first round. It could end up being the matchup of the day, period. It's definitely the matchup for this first round. Someone, you know, Jason Harris with his 356 with a 0 going to number 1. Normally Mark Mickey's sitting in that
100%.
position. So normally Jason Harris would have basically drawn his number 1 qualifying counterpart in the situation. Mark's not on the same pace that he has been. However, he did crack into the show in that 4th qualifying session.
It is a rare day when we talk about Mark Mickey coming into a round of eliminations almost 0.04 of a second behind an opponent. The M&M transmission, Camaro on the right side, Hart's turbochargers.
Definitely a different position for him than he's used to being in.
We saw him last night, or I saw him last night as he was leaving the chip dry. I said, buddy, we were sweating bullets for you. And if you've ever heard Mark speak, you know there's certain colorful language involved. He says, what the F do you think I was thinking?
I'd like to know what the F Jason was thinking when he pulled Mark Mickey. I'm sure he wasn't thrilled, but we'll see if Jason can continue his dominant ways so far.
And Mickey almost crosses the center line. It's Harris, 357, 9 at 210. Low ET of the round so far for Jason Harris. He was 33, and again, it just was not Mark Mickey's weekend.
Brandon Stroud and that team over there have been consistent. Now quickest of the first round of eliminations, 357 with a 9, 210. I think he had a 9.0 something 60 foot. We'd have to pull it back up, 210 miles per hour. So just had it covered from the reaction time, 60 foot, early incrementals, and out the back door. That was really nothing Mark could do.
No, that was smooth.
Looked like Mark just struggled to get it up on the tire.
Yeah, it did. It was kind of slow the whole way. Ryan Hayward and Kevin Rivenbark. The North Carolinian taking on the man from Washington State. Culp Lumber Company, Culp Insurance, Ford Mustang, and there is Ryan Hayward Chevrolet Camaro, which has been such a weapon at this event and at these Winter Series events the last couple of years.
Yeah, no longer the Cinderella. You know, we've got plenty of other candidates for that this year, but he was definitely our Cinderella last year, going rounds, kind of out of nowhere, coming from the West Coast. But now, with this RJ Race Cars machine, the performance we've seen from him and his crew chief, Ricky Jones. He finds himself in a different position this year. You know, finding guys like we just talked about, Mark Mickey, not being in the dominant #1 qualifying position he normally finds himself in. Now we've got Ryan Hayward in a completely opposite situation than where he was last year, where he's the favorite in this matchup. Seeing how guys handle these different evolutions of their program and competing here at the Winter Series.
So far in this first round, the only car that has come in as the second in performance of a pair that has won, Burden over Sean. Everybody else has been favored in terms of their qualifying performance, even just by several thousandths of a second. Man, Hayward's going to need it all. Finish line stripe. It is a whole shot win. Man, Rivenbark's 11, a 63 beats a 60 flat. Kevin Rivenbark drove himself to that one.
That's a huge hole shot. 63 to the 1 beats a 60 flat. 0.11 reaction time to an 0.59. We just spent the whole time talking about Ryan Hayward and his Cinderella story last year and how he would handle the pressure of being the favorite this year, and we saw it play out right on the starting line. Kevin Rivenbark sitting over there like, you know, lying in wait to take advantage of that situation. That was awesome. Great to see that Culp Lumber team have some success at this event. You know, these events have just been a real struggle for them.
Absolutely. Here is another of our Street Outlaw graduate matchups here. Scott Taylor and Kai Kelly. We talked about Kelly last night in final qualifying. We said, you know, we've talked about pretty much everybody else but Kai Kelly in this top 5, top 6 cars in the order. You know, this guy went through at 357.
Yeah, he did. And interesting, Kai is the first car, I believe, that had the qualifying advantage, therefore had lane choice and took the right lane.
Great point. The Key Superstores Camaro of Taylor, American Pride Golf Carts, and the Larry Jeffers Race Cars built Camaro for Kai Kelly. Taylor rolling ahead. They've justified that car just slightly to the left of the center of the lane. Not anything crazy, but they have moved it just a bit outside. Interestingly, these guys know each other's routines very well. They've raced each other for years at racetracks across the country. They probably played the game with each other every now and again, but they understand who likes to stage when, where, and at what pace. That could be a help or a hindrance. Oh, Taylor's going to make a work for it, and it is going to be Kai Kelly, 361.4, beats a 362.4, 26 and 27 lights. Yowza.
That's about as tight as it gets right there. Scott Taylor had a little issue staging. He went up on the, started to go up on the two-step a little early, backed it down, went in. It didn't seem to affect him at all with that 026 light.
Smooth and clean for Kelly. Trying to go back-to-back here at the Snowbird Outlaw Nationals. Of course, driving a different car this year, but doing the same job. Now somewhere, Donald Long may be in a pillow fort with his phone up, nervously peeking over the top to see what happens here between Robert Davis and his new internet best friend, Jimmy Taylor.
I actually saw, I believe it was an official Donald Long account and post that he said, hey, Jimmy Taylor, you did a good job. You know, you did pretty good for a big floppy tire guy. Something like that I caught on my way in this morning. So Donald giving him his love, at least a little bit for today, until something happens or whatever. He can't wait to jump back on that bandwagon. But another car that has taken the right lane, Jimmy Taylor, even though he had lane choice, which is where he made his good run, his best run of the weekend was in that lane in yesterday's first session.
If you have not tuned in all weekend, if the rock you live under does not have internet access, you may be unaware of what Jimmy Taylor has done over the last month up at Maryland International Raceway with this car. An Outlaw trim, resetting benchmarks in the 8th mile for speed and ET and the quarter mile for door cars and speed and ET, but set back to its legal settings for this format. This sucker can still go 225 miles an hour or faster.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do here on race day in eliminations. I think this is what everyone wants to see. Car's super impressive in testing and the other things he's done. What can he do on race day?
And Robert Davis, appropriately in that black Camaro, menacing looking, trying to stop this potential freight train run of Jimmy Taylor. Huge, red light start for Davis. Immediately thought, my goodness, he left him in the dust there, but did not happen. 3:59.5, 223 miles an hour, and that is how Jimmy Taylor advances to round two.
Answers that question. 3:59, 223.39. It's another box checked for Carl Stevens and the Jimmy Taylor and that XRE team.
Davis, the first red light victim of the first round. The run was pretty good looking. He saw it drive out with the front end up, but nothing was going to stop that thing on that particular run.
Yeah, Robert Davis knew if Jimmy makes a pass that he's capable of making, he's got to do everything he can to push the tree.
Randy Weatherford coming up against Kurt Stedding. They say that familiarity breeds contempt, and these two guys have scrapped many a time in the world of PDRA drag racing in the Pro Boost category.
And we sound like a broken record at this point, but Randy Weatherford had lane choice, chose the right lane. So as you know, the first, what, 8 pairs or so?
Roughly 8 pair, yeah.
Left lane was lane choice. Now we've shifted over to the right lane. You'd have to talk to each one of these teams and get their thoughts on what went into their lane choice.
Kurt's son Ethan collected a Pro Street Championship of the PDRA in 2025. Ethan did not make the cut, but had a nice, respectable showing out here, running a multitude of low 60 runs, but the old man made it in.
Yeah, not someone that we thought would get in on an alternate. You know, we thought that based on what we've seen from Kurt Stedding over the years, that he'd be a shoo-in in this field, but that's just how stout this field was and how much things have changed over the last couple of years.
Last night at the chip draw, it kind of struck me when they called Randy Weatherford's name. He walked up like he was getting called to the principal's office to pull that chip. This guy is all business.
He kind of had a little smirk when he found out who he's running. He kind of gave a little look. I mean, this guy, he's quiet, you know, Southern gentleman type of guy, but he's got a killer instinct.
He
also
absolutely does.
And he's really confident in what he's done this year with this new car. He's got his son Taylor out there pulling him into the beams. The sun really peeking through right here as these guys are about to run. That's kind of the last thing you want to see.
Yes.
We'll see how they handle it. Both in, kind of taking their time. Randy goes in first.
Little tire shake on both sides, but it's Weatherford dominating here. 3:58.6 beats a 3:62. Weatherford left on him by a hundredth and change.
These early numbers, 9:12, 9:04. We saw that out of Harris also. These Hartz Charge cars are just getting after it early, then also running the big speed out the back door.
You're going to see Weatherford's, or rather, you're going to see the car of Stedding chatter a little bit. I believe Weatherford actually had a little check of the tire as well, but nothing too bad. Yeah, you can see a little squiggle there, but certainly wasn't as bad as what Stedding was faced with. An early exit for Stedding, which is kind of shocking because of how he typically has very consistent success here.
Yeah, you know, again, go from the high of getting in as an alternate, thinking you've got that chance, you've got that opportunity at least to compete today, and then it's over as quickly as it came.
A 12-hour swing, basically.
Yep.
Brandon Snyder and Peter Norton. J&H Service, the presenting sponsor of the Drag Illustrated Winter Series, fielding 2 cars this weekend, one driven by Scott Palmer, the car that Jim Whiteley normally drives. That one didn't make the cut, but Brandon Snyder did. And he has Peter Norton across the racetrack, a name that may have some Fairweather Pro Mod fans saying, who? He was impressive and has been impressive this weekend.
He has. I mean, this is a name that popped up on the sheet, but been super impressive here in his Drag Illustrated Winter Series debut. Also teamed up with Nicky Bobby this weekend, who didn't make the show. So both of these cars have teammates that didn't make the show while they made it in. sometimes they're the sacrificial lamb
Right.
for one of the teams to be able to collect that data and put it together and get in the show.
Snyder went 60 flat with, or 60 with a 9, I should say. Norton went 61-1. Performances have really been mimicking. We're not too far off really for anybody. They're running right in the window of where they qualified at.
Yeah, this car, Peter Norton's also tuned by Ricky Jones. We saw Ryan Hayward earlier make a good run, but beat on a hole shot. I expect to see Peter Norton lay down a number very similar to what we saw from Ryan Hayward.
Oh man, Norton was basically so deep he was bumping the car in and out, and Snyder just runs away from him. 362-1. Took a big bite, Norton did, when he was staging, causing the car to kind of bump in and out of the deep stage position, and it threw him for a loop.
It really did. 265. I mean, normally when that kind of stuff happens, you know, flickering the bulb, it can affect the other driver, but he had kind of everything going on there. Went in deep, then flickered.
Watch the Christmas tree. It is an LED tree, that's why you see the flashing on the camera, but yeah, Norton's car was just rocking in and out. And Brandon Snyder said, toodaloo. You could, yeah. Tough break there for Norton. We talk about drag racing.
Yeah.
It's a literal game of inches, especially when it comes down to the staging process.
Because he did go in deep also, that threw off the ET, so not really representative of the pass that car probably actually made.
Now, I made a commitment. I made a verbal commitment a few runs ago.
You didn't know?
To Lyle Barnett, and this is the big moment here.
Did you do that on air, or was that before we?
That was on air.
Okay.
That was on air.
All right,
You had talked about your dark horse, and I said, listen, if Barnett, after all their struggles, is able to beat this guy, I'm pinning my tail on that donkey.
Outside of the Jason Harris, Mark Mickey matchup, this is the matchup of the first round. Steve King, World Series of Pro Mod champion last year. It's been very impressive the entire season. Has to be considered the favorite here. Yeah. However, maybe in the hearts of the fans and his supporters, Lyle Barnett in the other lane snuck in by the slimmest of margins. We thought he was in.
Yes.
On 3 alternates. No, then he gets bumped out. Then we find out we've got a 4th alternate when Tommy DeApril wasn't able to make the call due to engine damage. Then he's back in, so this roller coaster of emotions that Lyle Barnett's gone through, he and his team as they battled gremlins all weekend, made a great run. We're in the show, bumped out, back in. Can they put that aside?
Barnett securing the Wright Mowers sponsorship for the Drag Illustrated Winter Series, trying to maximize that exposure as well. Barnett was, oh no, big mechanical trouble. He was out on King by some 300ths of a second, but King drives away as Barnett's car mixed up cylinders. That was unfortunately the story of that weekend. They got one good lick in. Everything else has been a mess.
Yeah, it looks like back to those issues that they battled all weekend.
Yeah, King doing the job.
He got a little out of the groove, probably rattling the tires a little bit. Not really the run they were looking for, I would imagine, but held on enough for the win. And right about here, Lyle's car, something mechanical, maybe the electrical issues that they
it was strange.
Rewired
it was like
the car over the weekend.
Yeah, like a missing hole or two one side, and then another one, and he obviously saw where King was headed, and he wasn't going to get there ahead of him, so he shut it off.
Said he had injector issues or injector wiring situation that they were going through, so maybe that reared its head again.
Yeah, so then you're dealing with not only electronic problems, but fuel. You know, you're now combining two different systems, but a tough end for a tough weekend for Lyle Barnett, but it's the final pair of round one, Ty Tutterow and Eric Gustafson.
Another great matchup, kind of a sleeper. Ty Tutterow is also not really my dark horse, but I think he's the pick that I'm riding with to win this thing this weekend. I think he's got to be considered one of the strongest cars out here after his PDRA Pro Boost World Championship. and just what we see from him as a driver and the consistency of this car, what we saw last night. Gustafson off the trailer with that 357 and had to be a threat early on and made the show, but then we didn't really see.
Faded.
Yeah, kind of started to fade away from that. We'll see if he's able to get back to somewhere in that. I mean, a 357 would be very impressive right now, but in that high 50 range.
And I think there are times, and there are times when you get out there with a clean shot, you go into experiment mode, and as long as you know you can get back to where you started, I think that's a good strategy. Sometimes, though, when you go to experiment mode for 3 runs after 1 clean one, you find yourself looking around going, which way did we enter this maze from, you know? Both guys former NMCA Pro Mod champions, Gustafson and Ty. Ty did it a few years ago. Wearing the number 1 in the window as a PDRA champion. Coast Packing Company, Viva, the businesses that Eric Gustafson operates.
His dad, King Todd Tutterow, send him in. He gives the signal. Todd attempted to qualify with Robert Abbott's car, didn't make the show, so now he can focus completely on his son Ty.
Yeah, I think some guys are hoping he would make the show, so he didn't have time to spend all the time with the wrenches, but such is the business.
This is a great shot here from the drone. This allows us to see these cars make their moves throughout the course of the run.
Gustafson's out first. Tutterow's up by the center line. Finish line stripe. It's Gustafson. 57 beats a 59.
Wow.
End-to-end victory. Ty was better down low, but Eric was better at the 330 and across out the gate.
We didn't expect to see that. We didn't expect to see Ty Tutterow with an 087 reaction time.
No.
Very uncharacteristic. 904 60 foot. Had the performance early, but then at 357, we just talked about Gustafson. Ran that 357 off the trailer first thing Thursday morning in Q1, and he found his way back out of the maze, Brian.
He did. I mean, it went right back to where they started, and whether it was by hook or by crook, that's what they did. And yeah, Ty just oddly late for him there. It's uncharacteristic, but it happens to the best of them.
Great first round. Some surprises. Some
Great
stuff
first
we didn't
round.
expect to see happen. Some of the stars moving on, and some of the underdogs as well.
Hole shots, red lights, surprises, great storylines. And we distilled 32 cars down to 16. And when we come back, we'll continue our action here at Bradenton. There'll be a chip draw in just a little while. We got all kinds of heads up and index racing to do. We got another 4 rounds of Pro Mod action. We'll be right back to Bradenton Motorsports Park.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for
Didn't expect to see that.
every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me. Formulated to win, proven by me. Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
For more than 35 years, Flying A Motorsports has been the trusted name in race trailers, motor coaches, and toter home. As the world's #1 Intech trailer dealer, Flying A leads the way in custom-designed race trailers and car haulers built to fit your vision. With a massive lineup of in-stock inventory and fully built custom builds from top brands like Intech, Renegade, Showhauler, T&E, Bravo, and C-Tech, we're ready to equip racers at every level. Whether you're a dirt racer, drag racer, or hot rodder alike, we have something for you.
Ken Q, 1 round down, 4 to go. Track conditions will probably be a little bit different, and in my opinion, the next round will be the hardest round. What's your plan going into round 2?
I'm hoping to draw a turbo car. That's my only plan I got to work with. But the first one's the hardest. It doesn't matter who you draw, no matter what happens, but you got to get that first one. You know, as a driver, you got to get those cobwebs out. You got to just get into race mode, and I feel good. I actually feel like no emotion today, so that's where I need to be.
I'm going to need you to pick up the emotion for next round for me.
I was told I'm not allowed to because my mouth gets me in trouble.
Ooh, Ken Q in trouble all the time.
Yes.
Sean Ellington, round 1 win for you. I know how important this is, and I know how bad you want to win. I know you feel it in your gut. It's a feeling that not a lot of these drivers know, not to offend anybody, but it's just different here.
It's different. It's different. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can call it a chip on my shoulder, whatever. I feel like every time I'm here, I have something to prove. And when we came here and we didn't qualify the 2 races last year, it did something to us. So we spent the rest of the year getting it figured out, you know, working hard, and we qualified well, came out here, got our first round win, and we got 4 more.
Not only did you get your first round win, you got your first round win on a hole shot. People, if you didn't know who I was rooting for, you know who I'm rooting for now. Let's go, baby. Stevie Fast, 361 with the 1. You turn Menhold upside down. Do you get tired of winning?
Never, ever. I've been racing for a long time, and it took me a while to figure it out, but I've decided that I have factual information that I like winning more than I like losing. That's pretty good. We're going to have a long day. Our Motion Raceworks hot rod is hauling butt. Crew guys are doing a good job putting it together. I'm doing a halfway job driving. Biggest thing is when you get to race on race day, you get to be a kid again, so it's going to be fun. Let's do it.
Callie Mills, round 1 was a very close race for you. You cut a double 06, and you needed every bit of that. You had a 016 margin of victory. Round 2 coming up. I'm so proud of you for not folding under pressure. What a bad bitch you are.
You know, I go out here and I do my job. This race is going to be one on the tree, you know, and I'm very focused right now. First round win, great, but we've got 4 more rounds to go to the finals, and I'm going to have that every round, really. This is going to be one on the tree. These cars are so close. If you don't have a good light, you're going home. So at the end of the day, Lee White, my dad, Mikey, Taylor, Paul, Jeannie, my mom, we've been here all week working our butts off, and all season really. And to go out here at the biggest race of the season and just, you know, continue to do that and strive forward is what we as racers want to do, you know, and turn on win lights, of course. So at the end of the day, we got to move on to next round, see who we get, and take out another bear.
Thanks, Cal.
But it does, and I thank you for understanding.
Known each other that long?
Yeah, well, we used to send letters in class, you know. I was the
paper football.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are the good old days, man. Good
so
old
Bill
days.
Lutz and Jerry Morgano going to be the first pair out.
Wow, what a matchup.
Yeah, we're
guys
going right into the deep end of the pool here.
You're not kidding, man. Those guys that come around from NMCA, NSCA days, they know all about meeting up with each other.
Yeah, number 2 and a number 3 qualifier right here off the bat.
Yeah, within 6 thousandths on the sheet, a Screw Supercharger taking on Twin Turbos.
And Jerry. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Merit Prize Financial, Merit DeSoma Racing Engines, Bullseye Turbochargers, Atomizer Injectors, and Menser Motorsports supporting Jerry Morgano.
Good to see that old Anthony DeSoma's name out there, man. He's a good guy. Good guy. Good engine builder. Got a kid named Nick. I do too. They were born in the same year. Good Italiano, man. Good bread. Good to break bread with the New Jerseyans. That or you end up in a landfill.
And Bill Lutz going to move his car ahead. back of a car in a compactor.
Oh, they were
buried in the end zone of the Giant Stadium.
Those dudes in that state were getting so brave they just pushed them out of cars and leave them on the side of a beach somewhere. They didn't care. Anyway, so we're going to see if Lutz can do it right here. Stoutsville, Ohio. 67 Chevrolet Supercharged Camaro. It's fast. It's not the prettiest thing in the ground, so man, it's number 3 in qualifying at 390 with a 6. And quicker this lane, 390 with a 0.
Luke.
Here the pair, right, 203 left-hand side for Jerry. 194, Lutz is qualifying.
Pro 10-5, round 1 eliminations. Huge starting line advantage for Lutz, and he is going to take it to the house. Lutz wins a 393, beats a 396, and just crushed him on the starting line.
Man, that's what I was going to say. I'm looking at this angle. I go, is he that far out? Man, he really got a whole shot on him. 073 to 119. Jerry Morgano is going to have enough time to get out there and get the helmet off and get his hair back. Bill Lutz is going to get that thing ripped apart for next round.
Yeah, the first thing we saw coming away from the tent right there is the Winter Series tent kind of blocks the front end right there. We just saw wheels up as they come out of there. And out in front there, big hole shot advantage. It was tough to catch him after that.
700th margin of victory at the stripe for Bill Lutz as Joel Wensley Jr. and Chris Mattingly come up next. It's Mattingly from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, who's going to take looks to be maybe a second shot at a burnout here. Wensley of Dearborn, Michigan rolls through.
Good-looking car. His father down there, Joe, who had Samuel Peterson in the Pro Mod this weekend. They got qualified. He's going through some back issues, man. He said, there's no way I can drive this car this weekend.
And Sam did a nice job in the first round. Came up short against Stevie Fast. Did a really good job pedaling the race car. He left within 6,000ths of them. There were 24 and 30 on the tree. And then had to pedal the car. Did a nice job at that, but Stevie had no issues and just drove away from him. But a great, great weekend for young Sam Peterson.
And thank you for the information. I said they were both from the same stables at one time.
Oh, yes, they were.
So they know each other.
Yeah, Shadow 2.0 versus Shadow 3.0.
So here comes the young kid, Wensley. His father down there, semi-retired or retired from the heating boiler company in Detroit that they do furnace work and air conditioning work down there. I'm telling you what, it must get hot in Detroit because, man, they got some cars.
You know, Al, you said you like the silver cars with the black stripes. I actually like the inverted right here. I'm really a fan of that. That's a sharp-looking car. It looks very clean, the black with the silver.
Those smoked windows really just stand that car out.
We were talking about that earlier. That some cars it's okay on, but some cars it really, really pops and makes them pop in it. And this is a great example.
All true 10-5 no-time cars should be in the lanes. We've called all of you. All true 10-5 no-time cars should be in the lanes.
So Mattingly down there, Elizabethtown, Kentucky, right up there around where the mountains start. Getting ready in the orange Chevrolet.
Joel Wensley out on him by 6,000ths of a second and wins a 396, beats a 402, and Wensley will advance on to round 2 with an elapsed time a couple of hundred slower than he ran in qualifying. Meanwhile, Mattingly picked up a 10th over his best run.
Yeah, you know, he drove an 1/8 and a half of an 1/8 to get there, too,
right.
man. That thing was straight, and then she went right, and then he came back left. You watch that in the slow-mo down there from Flo. Not bad at all. There's a great shot of the kid down there taking the victory. Awesome deal. Here comes Nick Augustino out of Ontario, Canada. His 69 10-5 Chevrolet that's been so good to him with the small block Chevrolet. M&M Trans, Nash competition engines. Oh, and look at this. Oh, Canada. If he was here right now singing the national anthem for the state, both these guys would be at each other with black eyes.
The battle of the Great White North here as John Carinci of Woodbridge, Ontario backed the way up. I don't know how far away these guys' neighborhoods are, but right now, it doesn't matter what city you're from.
Doesn't matter, right? Look at the stance right here on Agostino's car, man. If that thing is just hammered down, isn't it, right? Almost looks like he's got the airbags and the compressor in the back of that thing, right?
Mike Ski down there has been alongside of that car. Mike Ski, who had Orska back in the, not Orska, but the Canadian 10-5 Racing Association for many years, along with Mike Bennett. He's down there in the yellow hat. Good guy down there, Mike Ski. So.
And the setup on this one to me is you got two guys that had much different approach in qualifying. Nick Agostino, he hit for average. He was hit a couple of doubles out there, right? The 97, the 94, the 92. John Carinci hit one home run and then struck out twice.
Yeah, you're right. But that would be a grand slam compared to the other two numbers.
Right.
I mean, he came out with a 5, a 4, and then goes 387 to put the fear of God into everybody in this competition.
He did.
Yeah, if you go by track record and do the math right here, he's going to run a 2 something at this round.
Well, he went to Extreme Racing Engines. That was the big story about that Carinci car, that they were with PTP for years.
Yes.
I don't see if he's over there, but now the Extreme Racing Engines doing their deal.
Full free stage. Agostino going to bumper in the same time as John Carinci. Carinci, a huge hole shot, but he had a lift. Agostino drives around him, 397 to 192. John Carinci had him by the throat, and he had to lift. He was a 1/10 of a second better on the starting line, 500ths better to 60 feet, and then his foot came off the gas.
The throat, he had him in a wrestling move I've never seen before in my life. Unbelievable, legs over the forehead. That guy had him big time. And then Carinci loses traction, and it's over. So you never count yourself out. Sorry about your back. Don't be coughing in here. I don't know how to fix it.
Carinci left today and left-hand side. Agostino left yesterday, but gets the win.
Fletcher Cox and Mikey Cecina coming up now. We need little gangsters, pairs 1 through 4, which will be Sally and Poole, Wilson, Colby Hudson, Braun, Reinhardt, Morris, Wagner. Sally, Poole, Wilson, Hudson, Braun, Reinhardt, Morris, and Wagner. We need those 4 paired to the staging lanes and little gangster.
Back to live action. We got retired NFL Philadelphia Eagle lineman. This is Fletcher Cox, left-hand side. Out of Jacksboro, Texas. 69 Camaro, your number 4 qualifier with a 3.907 at 190. There's a nitrous assisted right there. He's been involved in drag racing his whole life there.
Yes.
You know, he's an avid hunter and fisher. He's got his ranch there, the Shady Trail Ranch. He's got a lot of things going on. He prepared himself well for life after NFL, and here he is doing what he loves. Fletcher Cox, left-hand side, qualified number 4.
Mikey Cecina from Giddon, Colorado, a 481X powered, pro-charged 03 Mustang. Was a 10th behind Cox the entire way through qualifying. A perfect 10th behind Cox. 404 to 404. Then you get a 92 to a 402, a 90 to a 4 flat. He was out on him by 100. Fletcher Cox puts the lumber to it, goes 495, beating a 395, beating a 399. Fletcher Cox moves on to round 2.
Yeah, he was behind by just a little bit, and then he hit that Fast and Furious NOS button down there. Got a blur down the big end. It turns on the win light. Good win right there, knocking off the number 7 qualifier, Cecino. Man, great race there, and Fletcher moves into round number 2.
And Ron Fisher has the bye coming out of round number 1.
What can we not say about this car? It's an all-time favorite. It gets a lot of people love it. I mean, it's just phenomenal looking 1968 Chevelle. I think it takes, the thing has been in a million pictures. Pictures. I mean, look at it, right? Brian, you quoted yesterday that you remember what it was, the factory color on this thing? It was something really exotic.
Grecian green mist.
Grecian green mist. I don't. You know what? You don't even got to look at that. You don't even look at that color. But if you'd have told me that, if the painter said, "Hey, I got this Grecian green mist,"
just do it.
Yeah, light it up, man. Spray it. Right. Beautiful Chevelle Hemi 521. This is just a great looking race car.
And the good news for Ron Fisher is it hasn't been the best running race car this weekend, but it was a chip draw in the first round, and he drew the bye chip. So it gives him an opportunity to get his program sorted out that otherwise he wouldn't have had if he was having to race the likes of a Big Boost Bill Lutz or a Fletcher Cox. With nobody in their lane, they could experiment and hopefully get this thing right.
Yeah, it was actually the same as we just talked about it a minute ago. So his first round, he went a 6-something of qualifying. The second round, he went a 5-something, and then he went a 4-something. So what's he going to do right here? He really needs to find some numbers right here to be competitive, but luckily he gets a bye right here.
And so Fisher A much more composed staging process than we had previously seen.
Wow, man, I'm going to tell you, what a move.
That is the best run that thing's made in a couple of years. 419.5 and 177. Fisher is on the path to enlightenment. No parachutes, but he should be able to get it hauled down there at the top end.
That thing hit hard right there to start. I don't know if you saw looking at the rear wheels, Ray, but it almost got on the rim. That thing squatted so much and bit, man. It was really transferring the weight, and again, great job there. 419 really, needs to find a few more numbers there, but he got a great tuning on it.
It was really cool. You know, he might have a career in chess, but he's pretty good at driving too. Old Fisher down there making it happen there in the original Flowmaster muffler car back there.
This guy making a Bobby Fischer reference.
Sorry about that. I was just checking Nostradamus out over here.
It's a lot of lonely days in the cab of a bulldozer to come up with that one.
Oh, man.
So Ron Fisher advances on a round 2 in a really nice lick for that car. I mean, that is the path, the step forward they needed. That's 3/10 better than they've run all weekend. Picked up 17 miles an hour in one shot, so they now are starting to have a decent race car to work with.
You know what, Brian? If you're a spectator or just a racing fan, that's a car you got to go look at. Because you're looking at cars, 390s, 4.0s. Go look at that car and you really appreciate how fast that car's going. It's a cool car, man.
Full interior, is it close to it or what?
I think it's got a houndstooth, double nickel, slapstick, horseshoe shifter.
The inside is as nice as the outside.
It
is.
Got an ashtray in there?
Oh, there's an ashtray in there, believe me. Probably got the originals in the back arm controllers, too, the little silver buckets.
So we have called the first 4 pairs of little gangsters: Sally, Poole, Wilson, Hudson, Braun, Reinhardt, Morris, Wagner.
You know, I used to do some work when I wasn't announcing. One of my friends, Brian Mansone's Drag Life apparel and stuff, will give me to come work his booth, right? And he sells a lot of the silhouette, you know, like a car silhouette.
Okay.
His Drag Life, right? And he's got these folders, and there's every kind of year of car make and whatever. People come up there, hey, you ain't got a, you know, you got one for, you know, an 80 El Camino. Right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But me, you know, I don't know where they are in there because he's got them. He knows where they are.
He didn't have any for a Yugo?
No, yeah, Yugo, right. But I used to mess with the people that come up there, you know. They say, hey, you got one for, like, silhouette one for 89 Fox body. And I'd say, is it a 4-speed or an automatic? And they'd say, oh, it's a 4-speed. I said, does it have an ashtray or what? You know, I'd ask them all these questions. Right, like the silhouette's going to change, right? And they're giving me all this information.
The guy, they walked away going,
yeah, why is he asking me all that?
That's good stuff, Logan. Here we go. Russell Stone coming in here, El Dorado, Arkansas.
Wow. It's like going to a chain parts store and you say, I need a fan belt for what? Is it 4-wheel drive?
Yeah.
So listen, we need our Pro Mod and Pro 10.5 drivers to the tent behind the timing tower. Round 1 winners. Chip draw for round 2 is happening. Pro 10.5 round 1 winners. Pro Mod round 1 winners to the tent behind the timing tower for your round 2 chip draw.
Did you always hate that when the new guy got in there and you told him the spark plugs you want? What are they for? Can you just give me the spark plug number, please?
Yeah.
For Cummins diesel. Yeah.
Yeah, I go in and tell them, oh, it's for a big block 427. It's a peanut plug in there. Whoa, what? Just give me this number. Those were the great days when parts stores started changing.
I used to get those calls, though. I worked at an auto parts store when I was young in high school or whatever. And you get there, and you get people at other auto parts stores call, hey, I need a radiator for 68 Beetle, you know, trying to get you to go look for it, right? You know, got to be, you get those.
This is true 10.5, no time, so no time will be shown on the boards. We don't see it up here in the tower, but for Russell Stone, really nice clean pull there. The blown cars, especially on a bye, you can really hear how they take a lot of power out of them at the start to plant the tire, and then they feed it back in as the car goes down a racetrack.
You know, I just thought about it. Those young kids today are probably making those same prank calls at auto parts store, right? Trying to get a fuel pump for such and such Tesla, you know. Or whatever.
I'm sure you're right. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Nothing ever really changes.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
Brad Englund. Englund and Kyle Cannon.
Boy, that thing's sharp.
B-Rad. You heard me say yesterday, they wrecked this car up. He wadded it up. You know, they were just getting a handle on it. Had a ProCharge motor. And upgraded it and was really making some leeway, making some great ETs are running fast in his car, and then wadded it up. Couldn't really afford to, get another one, get it fixed. And him and his son, Braden, who's standing right behind the car, they're just a great family. They decided to rebuild it themselves. And they took some time, and they rebuilt it and did the whole thing. And look at it, man.
Isn't that awesome?
Really a nice looking
I was going to
aluminum.
say, they got a great body, man, if they wadded that thing up. That thing looks great.
Call the car Luminasty, right? He's from Kentucky. To hear him say it, Brad, Luminasty. It's Luminasty. That's the way he says it.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's a nice looking car.
Is it Canyon over there, Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle Canyon.
Out of Weatherford, Texas, will be over there in that Chevrolet 68 model Camaro. I think this color on this, the design on this car is cool, man. The purple and the silver, the gray, gunmetal gray.
Yeah, I wish we could see a better look. What he does inside the car, he really pumps himself up, man, when he's getting ready.
Well, Hans and Franz ain't going to help him here to pump himself up because Kyle just walked away with that sucker off the starting line.
He did.
See the door try to come open there on B-Rad's car?
Yeah, it was almost going full Jeep Wrangler action down there with the doors off. It was close. It was trying to leave the party.
He moves himself forward and stretches his arms out, pumps his chest like a silverback, whatever. He's got a crazy routine, It's fun to watch, though.
Well, Kyle Canyon gets the job done. That Candy Apple Red Camaro advances here in this true 10-5 no time round one. Joe Woods and Ryan Hendrickson.
Well,
Ryan
that was
Hendrickson.
awesome. I'm sorry.
Hendrickson's coming up here in a Ford Mustang, and Jeff Miller in the 1978 Malibu.
Oh, there it is, man. I saw that car yesterday in the right lane. I said, man, is that thing beautiful? Steve Logan said that's a steel body, all steel, all glass.
Steel, all glass. It's got power windows on this.
On the Malibu?
Power windows on that car.
Wow, that is a good-looking ride, man. Look at that thing. Vacuum cleaner down to the asphalt. Backing that thing up. It's got a hat on there that you can go to any Kentucky Derby in. Beautiful car.
The interesting addition to that car, if you look at the back of the roof, you're going to see these little spiky looking things, and those are actually called vortex generators. They're a little aerodynamic trick, and they break up the air coming off the back of the roof line, so it reduces drag. So those things hit, and they actually cause the air to swirl and kind of break it up aerodynamically.
Jeez, man, how's the weather tomorrow?
Doesn't look good. That's why we're running today. Ryan Hendrickson.
Dude, that was awesome.
In the Mustang.
I was looking at those going,
yeah, you see those little spiky things? Those are called vortex generators.
Thank you.
It comes out of aerodynamic world. They put those on there. Even the vents on the side, sometimes they do that.
Yeah.
So would they actually help the aerodynamics of the car?
Yeah, it reduces drag because it breaks up the air coming over the thing, creates a little turbulence.
Wow, very cool. Very cool, man.
What a great looking Mustang this is right here. It's a beautiful car out of Westfield, Tennessee. I think he's running the Bullseye turbo on this car. It just sits nice, great color, and a fast machine. Salty B is what they call that car.
Salty B's in trouble. It is the Mustang of Hendrickson.
The Malibu threw the blower belt off, man. I thought he was coming around him. I mean, he looked like he put some power to that thing. Then the belt had come off, and, of course, you're out of power at that point.
Yeah, he was in a hole, though, right there at the start. He was behind by quite a bit trying to catch him.
I was just saying, I'm glad he put a T-shirt on. The guy with the ink, he's down there in a white shirt now.
Greg Chandler from St. Albans, West Virginia, and Joe Rabiola from St. Charles, Illinois will be coming up next.
All right, my friend. Here is Greg Chandler coming up here in the tower side out of St. Albans, West Virginia, as they were saying. Nice looking car. Who's he going to race over there? Oh, Joey Rabioli out of Chicago, right? Yeah, St. Charles, Illinois.
Boost 12.
Boost 12.
And the Twisted Metal Camaro of Chandler.
Wait a minute, isn't that Greg out in front? Maybe not.
Crew's going to go in, make their last adjustments here. A couple of checks being made on that passenger side of Chandler's car. Rabiolo begins to move ahead. Starting line seems to have played a pretty big role so far. Seen a couple of real big kind of, again, we can't tell if they're hole shots or not, but we visually can see when one guy's a half a car length out before the other guy moves.
When you can see him with the naked eye, you know what I mean? You know that something's going on.
Boys, that thing sounds good.
It
that
does.
Thing's firing good, man. It's music to your ears. Oh, props for Joey over there. He'll slow down to a coasting pace down there. Greg Chandler, on the other hand, will get to the stripe, take the win in the Chevrolet.
Yeah, it sounded like Joe's car wouldn't shift in a high gear or something. It was actually in that race for a couple of 100 feet, and then you just watched Chandler motor away from him. So it will be Cole Pez and Taylor Strange coming up next.
Yeah, I saw Chandler with some tire spin right there at the hit, right? And it, you know, maybe they're all tire spin right there and revving it up and get on it. But man, that car really squatted on the big end and out the back door.
Massive payday for this category here, by the way.
Yeah, crazy, right?
$40,000 being paid out for this true 10.5 no time class. Cole Pez and Taylor Strange. The last time Cole Pez hit the gas, people were ducking for cover. Blew the top of the supercharger right off the car.
Got out there laughing about that comment, right? Yeah, it sure did. Out of Weatherford, Texas. Cole Pez is left-hand side. Thing is, got a little tweaking action sounding down there like a 1980 Pro Stock car.
Yeah,
with the
man.
carburetors, they're chirping and twerping.
Taylor Strange, that beautiful 1989 Beretta with a big nitrous engine in it. Dwayne Mills working on this machine, helping the setup. Callie Mills helping Taylor get back to the starting line. Kimmy Lynn.
Does that look incredible? When you
Yeah, Pez's car is awesome.
You look down here from the windows up here in the tower, you look down, man, that thing, you know what it looks like? It looks like they took all of the Kenny Hubbard old Camaro guts and threw it in a new Chevrolet Corvette. Remember that thing when it first came out? You're like, are you for real?
So Mom going to help Cole stage in the front of the car. Dad, the man responsible for the tune-up. Brandon Pez behind the car.
Taylor Strange right side out of Oklahoma. Beautiful 89 Beretta, man. I really like the paint job on that one too, man. It's good looking.
In the 3 qualifying passes Strange made, the car progressively got further down the racetrack, but it never got to the stripe without smoking the tires. Pez made a couple of good shots, and then the last one was a nightmare.
Well, he's got the car. Let's see if he got the car to beat. Uh-oh.
Great race.
Phenomenal race. I thought for sure the kid had to earn that from my viewpoint back here. What does the numbers say?
The numbers don't say anything.
Exactly.
They say 0.
But what you saw was a blower car making a screw blower car. Once it got its feet under it, you saw what a screw blower car is going to do in the back half of that racetrack. But for Taylor Strange, that is the first full trip to the stripe all weekend long, and it was almost good enough to stop Cole Pez.
What a race, man. How about it? No time, 10.5s on the back end. And the Chevrolet Corvette Pez and company pulls up with a motor that could probably rotate or generate all the power on this property. Unreal. Here we go. Ford Mustang coming up in the far lane. No name on file over there. But we can give him a name if you'd like.
Mustang Mike. I mean, Mustang. Yeah, Mustang Mike's rest in peace, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all right. Don't get it. He was a good friend of mine. But that's good that you remember.
Yeah.
It's good that you remember. He was a great guy, man. Hard-working drag racer. Those are the guys you just don't forget. They work so hard. I watched him come to a race. His tow vehicle broke, and he rented a U-Haul. And he got the trailer on a U-Haul box truck getting to the racetrack. I mean, just the stuff. That's I want to win. And he was a proven winner, man.
Chris Owens on a solo here. Ooh, man. You saw that to put some wheel in that thing early, and he had to pedal it, but he does take it across. Heaves the chutes out just past the 8th mile.
Yeah, he got the left-hand side there out of the groove.
Yeah.
And that thing started moving forward, closer to the center line, so he had to blip the throttle right there. How about this car? A lot of talk about this car in the right-hand lane, right?
Yeah, Ryan Mitchell completely rebuilt this car in like 2 weeks. And when I say completely rebuilt it, like the chassis. Like he had this thing, the Firebird out of Grandview, Missouri. I mean, he had this thing completely and utterly yard sailed. It wasn't just like, oh, we had to swap an engine. This guy was welding on the chassis
here,
bare in his garage.
Oh, at home.
He drove straight through. He left the house late, of course. He arrived. He got one qualifying shot, and then the dew rolled in last night, so he didn't get a second one. So he is in this race for big money to take on Rob Valden. Maybe the worst guy you could possibly draw, he drew.
Man. Yeah, you know, Ryan over there in the KC Max car, they won a lot of money. They won a ton of money in that car over there on the right side. Really good on the, on the back half track stuff, and out there and where it's got no prep, and really a good team over there. They can adjust almost to every situation, but you're going to have to adjust quickly right here, like you said, face off with Rob, the Summit car, left-hand side.
And if you're wondering about Rob's car, they took some weight out of that car again, so he wasn't going to finish the paint job. And now yours truly may get the job to do it, Mr. Wonderful.
Really?
They were asking him. I mean, he does such nice work. You go to his website and see some of the Camaros he does. They're unreal. Here we go.
Uh-oh. Big time trouble over there for Mitchell. Had to pedal it as he got sideways. Valden's going to get the win. Mitchell was out on him to start with.
Yeah, he was getting ready to do some more chassis work on that thing right there.
Yeah, that thing hung
wheels up right there.
It hung the wheels up to the left point where it wanted to drag you left, man, and then he had to get out of it. And Rob Valden goes down and takes the victory. Good for him. That's the gangster. I remember when he was 17, Hub City, they used to put him in the Malibu. Hey, let that kid drive.
Boom.
And he remembers that. He goes, you remember? I go, yeah, you were
Crushing
the gangster.
people.
He was something else.
Dan Pasher and Lyle Barnett. Barnett has been eliminated from the Pro Mod field, but he is now back in the salvage title Mustang as Dan Pasher, a big burnout here on the Triple Law Firm side.
Man, was that awesome. That was Orange, Texas-based 04 Ford Mustang. We'll be over there in the tower side, and yours truly, Lyle Barnett, down there out of Robbins, North Carolina. Any given day, you'd see him in 4 cars. Today it's 2.
Right
He's got
mowers,
1 left.
MCI Steel, MacFab beadlocks, Hartz Charger. Of course, Tommy Yeoman's involved.
Proline Lee White doing the tuning on that machine. How about you have anything for Daniel over here? You know the car?
Oh, I do.
Is it bad? It seems like it.
He's always been really good right there out of Texas. Always been involved in like street stuff and no prep stuff and back half. Really good team right there. Daniel is. Daniel Car, whatever. Strong driver. He used to race. I've seen him up there around your way racing. It goes a lot of places with this car.
Well, this will be a big one. He gets around this car.
Yes, it will be.
The salvage title. I mean, the salvage title has put down some good numbers. I think it holds record in some classes in radial racing. Let's see how he does
over the course of its life. You're right.
Let's see how he does right here. Lyle Barnett. Not at the big dance, but he's going to a dance here. Let's see how he does.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, you're talking more than a talk right there. Lyle Barnett saying, no, buddy, this is my track today.
Barnett blips the throttle. Nobody is pre-stage yet.
There he goes. The pressure's on. Now the green car is going to make a move to the top light. Barnett goes
he double balled him. Pasher dives in. He was in pretty deep. And here we go. Barnett's going to speed away from him. Lyle Barnett taking out his frustrations of the first round of Promont on Dan Pasher in the first round of True 10-5 no time. That was a real fun staging setup.
Absolutely, and old salvage title showed him his way to the finish line there as the tires went away on the back of the green machine of Daniel out of Orange, Texas. But, man, beautiful car.